And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, self-defense, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, and we most importantly, we want to engage you to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Pull out your phone, save our number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
And check out consumerqb.com. That's our consumer advocate website, consumerqb.com. A lot of information available for you. You can watch our live stream television show version on the website. Just click on the live stream, or you can go to WeBeam TV. Show contributors are there, all of our 80-plus show partners. You can see the contact form as well. You can submit a form at consumerqb.com. Also, check out platinummvprealty.net. We're looking for sellers out there. Anybody looking to sell their real estate properties, we would love to talk to you. Right now, there is a lack of inventory in the marketplace, and it's a great time to sell. Also a great time to buy. So we're going to talk a lot today with our expert contributors here in studio. We got Mario Larrea back in studio. MI Mutual Mortgage, welcome in.
Hey, good to be here. Man, I'm glad it's starting to finally cool down again. I actually went out this morning. I ride my bike to the gym just for a little bit of cardio. It's actually a little cold, so it's kind of nice getting away from just walking out to the car and sweating to death. But
yeah, man, that humidity's gone a little bit.
Yeah, it's been nice. But I'll be talking about kind of the real estate market, what's going on with mortgages today. So delve into some of that, some of the things that help people when they are purchasing or looking to obtain a mortgage.
Yeah, we got an interesting story as well to talk about. U.S. second quarter GDP growth revised up, which is the fastest in 2 years. We're going to talk about that as well. Also in studio, my man Joe Harrison, back in studio, martial arts expert and self-defense expert. Welcome back in, Harrison. Martial Arts.
Thank you for having me, man. It's great to be back again. Going to have a lot to talk about today.
Good stuff. Yeah, man. A lot of time, this is a scary time to live for a lot of people if you don't have, especially I think about sometimes people that don't have any kind of a sports background or, self-defense at all, the relying on, other ideas. But, when you have the confidence, of that self-defense can bring you, it's an important thing to have these days.
It is a very important thing to have, and I feel like it's just not as stressed as it should be or taken seriously as it should be by the general population, especially with the recent events that happened in Vegas, which I'm going to be talking about here today, and also other things that you can do today immediately that can help mitigate threats and emergency situations like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You think about, what do you do in a situation like that? What would you do? Is the question. What would you do? How would you react? There's a lot of things happening today, and you think about. And what we want to do on this show is just kind of let you know the information, give you the ideas, and then it's up to you to act on it. We have a QAA formula. You're going to have questions. We're going to provide you answers, but we're also going to give you action items on ways that you can actually take action, live a better life, protect yourself, protect your family. And we also given a shout out as well to Florida Firearms. FFA just joined back up with the show. They're going to be on the show here soon as well.
That's a good range. I like that range. I like the people. They do a lot of good workshops there. One that I'll probably be doing here in the near future with them too. So that's a great place if you're looking to go, to get back behind the firearm and learn how to shoot or basically tighten up your shooting skills or whatever. So I think it's important to be involved in a firing range.
Yeah, I think it's cool, man, especially these days, especially right down the road from where I live now.
Right.
Florida Firearms Academy, we love. Kevin used to come on the show. Now
Right.
he's moved on, but
Yep.
great team over there. And a lot about self-defense today. We're going to talk some real estate. We're going to talk some mortgage, and we're going to help you win with your game plan. Putting together that financial game plan, that financial blueprint. A lot of times what we talk about, we have credit experts involved with this show, CPAs, financial advisors, lots of attorneys involved with the show as well. Ways that we can help you. Attorney Sean Yesner, we've got Attorney Joe Kearns, and others that can help you with whatever you're facing out there. So we want to make sure you engage with us. That's what we really like. We love the feedback. We love to hear from our listeners. Last week we had several calls, text messages, lots of people reaching out and finding out how they can get a review on their insurance plan. The hurricanes came through. A lot of people are concerned about that. Ways that they can just live a better life and engage and be proactive. That's the key is you want to be proactive. So let's go ahead and jump into this today. We want to plug Hula Bay, one of our restaurant partners. Hula Bay is an amazing restaurant partner located on Tyson Avenue in South Tampa, just south of Gandy and on the west side of West Shore. And they have an amazing menu, excellent food, wide variety on the menu. The best sushi in all of Tampa Bay. They've got a great roll over there that I always get every time, and it's so good. And make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and you're going to get hooked up with that free water with lemon that we talk about here. So that's all you have to do is just let them know. And we do have a lot of partners that participate in a discount program. If you talk to Kimpton's, the Hotel Zamora on St. Pete Beach, they're going to give you a discount. If you just mention the Real Estate Quarterback Show, let them know we sent you. You're going to get 20% discount on your staycation at Kimpton's, the Hotel Zamora, beautiful boutique hotel on St. Pete Beach, whitewashed Mediterranean Palace, beautiful property. And also at Signature Massage, you get a 10% discount as well. Signature Massage in Tampa. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this, Mario. The economy is looking good. I think I listened to a lot of the financial shows. There's some really good shows on AM 1380 The Biz here. Phil's gang and some of those guys. You listen to those. I like to get advice from, especially when it comes to stocks in the market, from some of these guys have been around a little longer to me. Phil's a little older, but he talks about how a lot of these companies, even though the stock market's high and everything looks like it's going well, we might be a little bit of balloon inflation going there in terms of the valuations being overstated. And here we have this article from Reuters talking about the U.S. second quarter GDP growth revised up, which is the fastest in over 2 years. It starts off by saying the U.S. economy grew faster than initially thought in the second quarter, notching its quickest pace in more than 2 years. There are signs that the momentum was sustained at the start of the third quarter. So gross domestic product increased at a 3% annual rate in April to June period. And the Commerce Department said its second estimate on Wednesday, the upward revision from 2.6% that was reported last month reflected a robust consumer spending as well as strong business investment. So, things are looking good. The economy's going well. Mortgage rates are still at a 40 to 50 year low. Great time to get out there and be proactive.
Yeah, they're still low. And, unfortunately, when the economy starts doing better, it's not really always all that great for interest rates. So you're starting to see some of that right now. Like over the past few weeks, I've seen rates creep up a little bit. But, hopefully sometimes that does happen. They go back and correct themselves. But with the economy going up, it's going to be one of those things where the rates are going to start increasing as well. And they've been pointing to that for a while. So, again, just like you were saying earlier, it's a great time to buy, great time to sell. Rates are still low. And I've noticed too, and I'm sure you've probably noticed this, we had a little bit of a lull there after the hurricane.
Yes.
But I've noticed now really it's starting to pick up quite a bit again. So it's been kind of good for that. But, again, it's a good time to get in there and buy while rates are still low.
Yeah, it sure is. And you look at real estate as an asset class, it's such a great class because, it's an insurable asset, worst case scenario, and let's look at the landscape right now. You got hurricanes that just came through. You got California facing amazing, crazy, just forest fires over there, fires going on, burning up wineries. But, long and short is that it's an insurable asset. You have to live somewhere. Worst case scenario, you get out, you recoup, and you buy somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely. And, one of the things I get this, people ask me all the time too, do I see another bubble coming or something like that? One of the good things that I've seen that's come out of a lot of the changes that we have is, you don't see all these crazy programs anymore with the arms and with, anybody who basically has a pulse can get a mortgage. So I don't see that we're going to see that type of decline ever again. I mean, that was kind of unprecedented. The last one we went through. I mean, that was huge. But even if it does, the real estate market does slow down a little bit, we're not going to run into anything where you're going to see major declines like we've experienced in the past.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't see that happening anytime soon. You got the Consumer Protection Bureau in place. Things are appreciating, but it's a normal appreciation. That's a healthy market. When we're appreciating from 3 to 5%, typically, in some areas, some pockets are going to be faster than that. South Tampa is always going to be a hot place, appreciation wise. But when you look at the regulations in place, the irrational lending that happened, that's not there. That's not coming back. So sometimes you see these writers writing these stories just to gain attention, to try to grab attention and say something that's a little bit outlandish, just to get the readership, just to get their clicks on an internet website.
It might not be much else to write about, so you can go back and sensationalize them. But yeah, I mean, I remember before the crash, they were saying something like the average income in Tampa was like half of what the average mortgage holder could afford. So, I mean, you're not going to see anything like that anymore. None of the arms around too much. I mean, they are available, but it's not like you're going to have the prepayment penalties, stuff like that. So, it's still a real solid investment. If the appreciation does, I mean, we're appreciating fast right now. So I would assume maybe it would slow down a little bit, but, it's still right now, it's a very, very safe investment with, all the safeguards that we have and stuff to make sure that people are able to afford the properties that they're getting into.
Yeah, absolutely. And things are looking good. You look at the Trump administration targeting tax cuts, deregulation, and infrastructure spending to boost growth. So that, that's only going to be good for the economy. How will that play out for mortgage rates? Like you said, it is an inverse relationship a lot of times when it comes to that.
Yeah, and the good thing with that, too, is we probably will see some programs open up or some, different types of lending. Definitely never going to see the things that we saw pre-2008, 2007. But, when the economy starts improving, rates are going to go up a little bit, but everything's going to improve with it, from the real estate and mortgage standpoint as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you also think about consumer spending. So the consumer spending is going to go up. People are going to be making more money. They're going to be able to afford more home. And the difference between, right now about a 3.75, 4.25, we're not quoting a certain rate here, APR. So we don't want the mortgage police coming after us. But, the difference between that and it going up to a 6.5 or a 7.5, really not that big a difference in the big picture. You're going to look at an overall increase in your income as well.
Yeah, and I remember when I first got in mortgages that we were at all-time lows, and I think we were at like mid-6s, high 6s, and I mean, that still, honestly, that's a great interest rate. I mean, if you look historically, like I get some people that are, whatever rate you throw out there, it's going to be too high. So, but, I mean, just a few years ago, it was like that, and those were great rates. I mean, if you look back like the 80s and 70s and stuff, I mean, you were in double digits all day long. So, still, if we jump up, even if we were to double, the rates are still fairly low. I mean, where they are right now, it's kind of unreal how low they are. It's almost like basically like free money.
That's right. Reach out to your local lender here. MI Mutual Mortgage Mario Larrea, a longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We want you reaching out. 813-670-7372. We want to help you. 813-670-7372. And when we come back, more from Mario Larrea. We also have Joe Harrison in studio, Harrison Martial Arts, and we're going to talk more about ways that you can live a better life. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. Low inventory market. We would love to talk to you. And let's give a shout out to our friends over at Signature Massage and Facial Spa in Tampa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or a facial at an affordable price, but without having to sign up for membership? Then look no further. At Signature Massage and Facial Spa, they offer a 1-hour Swedish massage for $49.95, always, and no contracts. And you come in during the early bird hours and you get an additional $10 off, and you'll receive a professional massage at a great price. And for those muscles and knots that need extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. And if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, and call at 813-925-8898, 925-8898 to schedule an appointment. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and you're going to get 10% off of your first service over at Signature Massage in beautiful Tampa Bay. And we're back here in studio. In studio today, we've got Mario Larrea, mortgage expert with MI Mutual Mortgage, and we have Joe Harrison with Harrison Martial Arts. So let's shift gears. Let's talk to Joe now. So, Joe, we talk a lot about self-defense. We talk about being alert, being ready, being proactive, and today we need it more than ever.
Oh, man, you couldn't have said it any better than that. I mean, I'm so surprised each time, these shootings like the one in Vegas happen. What surprises me the most is not that the shooting happened or that another one happened. What surprises me the most is there's just no change to everyday life for people. They go right back.
Right. Short memory.
I mean, it's like that. It's immediate. They watch it on the news. They give their condolences. They talk about it on social media. But it's pretty quick. It's really, I'm talking like within 24 hours, they're back to what they were doing the day before the tragedy. That's what scares me, is that there's no immediate change in their awareness or their, and I'm talking about from a mass public general standpoint. There are very few people that change things here or there, but not to the degree that it's going to really protect them, from an all around standpoint.
So what can they do? I think a lot of times people feel powerless. They feel, and in that situation, I mean, the guy's up 32 floors firing down. What are you going to do? I mean, try to get underneath something.
Well, what I'll say to that right there is it's not what you can do during that event, but it's your training prior to that.
Right.
Let me give you an example. If half of the people in that crowd were trained EMT or paramedics, then the people that did get shot might have had a higher chance for life because they could have gotten their wounds tended to.
Right.
That's if the people in the crowd were trained enough to deal with the panic situation to treat the wounds. So what I'm saying is, I try to say this all the time when it comes to self-defense, is be your own first responder.
Yeah.
So go and take classes. Make sure your CPR first aid is up to date. Make sure that you're, like we actually have an EMT in the room today. Make sure that you know a lot about how to protect yourself if you do get hurt, not just before you get hurt,
Right.
but also after you get hurt.
That's a good point too, especially for parents.
Absolutely.
Parents, something happens with your kid.
Yep.
The choking and some of the stuff that happens. Just
and like what surprises me is you'll see parents running around and they have everything in their backpacks or purses to help the child in case they get hurt. They have nothing in there for themselves.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, what if you get hurt? You can't help the kid to begin with.
Yeah.
So the personal safety and public safety has to be, you have to take initiative on yourself to protect yourself first. You can't help anybody else if you're the one, obviously, that's either dead or close to it. So my biggest advice would be right now, because of the way things are, start slowly admitting to yourself that we do live in a time where you have to be more aware.
Right.
I mean, I hate to say that, but there are eras in human history where we were in much less peaceful times, and there were eras where we were in much more peaceful times.
Yeah.
Right now is not one of those times. So we have to admit first that we are not in an era that is peaceful. Even though we get to go home, we all get to go to work, we all get to do our daily lives. That is a very strong misdirection, sleight of hand. It feels like everything is still normal, even though 50 plus people were just killed.
Yeah.
But it's not. And like the radio, or not the radio, but the talk show host Conan O'Brien recently just went on, or when he did his show right after the shooting, and he said that his producers had come up and told him, hey, you might want to look at these notes that you and some of the commentary that you covered on the Pulse nightclub shooting and this shooting and that shooting. And Conan O'Brien said, I can't believe that it's common for me to actually have to go into a file to talk about a shooting. It was, he said when he started the business like 24 years ago, that was not something it wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
So now it's common to talk about a mass shooting, and it should not be common.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's common means that our ability to defend ourselves should also be common.
So can you give us a step 1 through 5? So step number 1, you said be aware.
Yeah, step 1 is admitting that we are in a vulnerable position.
Okay.
Just like we were in 9/11, just like we were in all these other shootings. There's been more than 50 shootings in the last 10 years.
Wow.
So the other thing is, don't be arrogant and foolish. Don't try to think. Don't say to yourself, okay, well, that happened to those people, but it hasn't happened to me.
Yeah.
You could be anywhere at any time where this is going to happen. I'm not going to go into all the statistics and the reasons why and who's shooting and for what reasons. You have to take it upon yourself to protect yourself. So 1 would be, admitting to the vulnerability. 2 would be accepting the intelligence that could save your life.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a very advantageous, time and age where we can get on the internet and find a lot of information on how to take care of ourselves. That would be my next thing, which also leads me to say, make sure you're taking care of yourself on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Don't let your health slip.
Yeah.
If you let your health slip and an emergency situation presents itself,
right.
if you can't move because you're not healthy enough to move physically,
right.
well, now you've basically hurt yourself. Like in that Vegas shooting, I saw people trying to run for their life, and it's like, well, what people don't understand is that the shooting was one emergency event. The second emergency event in that situation was people running over other people.
Yeah.
So you may not have gotten shot by a bullet, but you could have gotten trampled on by people running and panicking. So that's the next thing. So the other thing is, make sure you take care of yourself. Your health and wellness is your first line of defense.
And if you just join us, this is Joe Harrison here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and he's the owner of Harrison Martial Arts in Clearwater. So we're going through the top 5. So what else?
Okay. So I think that was number 2. Number 3.
Yep.
Number 3 would be number 3.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. So treat yourself. Number 3 would be start training. Yeah. I should be number 1, but start training. Go to Florida Firearms Academy and take a gunshot wound class.
Yeah.
Come over to my place and learn how to, defend yourself from a close quarter standpoint. Different things like that. Take it upon yourself to learn how to defend yourself in different areas, in different places, in different ways. And that was 3 or
That was 4 would be
4?
training.
Okay, and then number 5 is basically just don't be arrogant and don't be foolish.
Yeah.
Don't just assume that it's not going to happen to you or come to your doorstep.
Yeah.
Always keep it in mind that that we are in that era. We do live in that time. It is not safe right now, and keep that.
Yeah, people they assume or they make assumptions, and it makes an ass out of you and me.
Right.
That's the one. And then when you think about it won't happen to me syndrome. It's not going to happen to me. It happened out there. It won't happen here.
Right.
But then some of those same people go and buy lottery tickets and think it's going to happen to them.
Right.
So, all right. So more from our expert contributors here on the Consumer Quarterback Show coming up. We got Mario Larrea, MI Mutual Mortgage. We got Joe Harrison Martial Arts, and we're going to come right back after this break. So do not touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. And we partnered up with Ken Shamrock, Des Woodruff, and we're going to be taking this into other markets. Real excited. Check out their Most Dangerous podcast as well. And real excited about a lot of things happening here in Tampa Bay. Hot market. Got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about. This property is in Largo, Tanglewood Drive in Largo. 4 bedrooms, 4 bath. 2,600 square foot, and it is a just reduced property. We just reduced the price on this one, 2,900 square foot, and beautiful property in Largo, pool home, and a great property. And we got one in St. Pete Beach as well, 3610 Casablanca Ave in St. Pete Beach. This is a great buying opportunity. Don Cesar Palace, the place subdivision, 3 bedrooms, 2 and 1/2 bath, a duplex. So it's a great investment opportunity. $625,000 and $625,000 in beautiful St. Pete. Great buying opportunity here in Tampa Bay. All right, expert contributors in studio today. We've got Mario Larrea. He's a mortgage expert, MI Mutual Mortgage, local lender, support your local economy. And also Joe Harrison here, Harrison Martial Arts, helping people understand more about their self-defense and just being proactive. PlatinumMVPRealty.net is our real estate website. ConsumerQB.com is our show website. You can see 80-plus show partners there that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on the air to help you win. And you check it out, all the different show partners that we have. We got this new brochure as well. So we've got different folks can help you with a lot of what you're facing. And we like to have a little fun here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So today we've got our Name That Tune. So we got our Name That Tune. You guys ready to name that tune?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Joe. So we got Joe and Mario here naming that tune. All right, here we go.
Now don't go wasting
90s hits.
No doubt.
This is
Spice Girls.
Spice Girls. Oh man.
I'd say I hate this song.
Yeah, that's it. That's one of the ones.
I hated it so much that it stumped me. I didn't know who it was. And
you blocked it out.
It was like in my head. And
your subconscious mind said, "I kind of know it, but I don't know it." He trained me.
He was dancing. I saw him.
Yeah, I was at a red light the other day.
Yeah.
I looked to my left. Could have sworn.
was him.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that's Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin.
Yep.
Living La Vida Loca. That might be
One-hit
on the
wonder
top.
right there.
Yeah, that might have been on the one-hit wonder list we did a few months back,
Yep.
a few weeks back. All right, here's one. This is a good one right here now.
Oh, MC Hammer.
Can't touch this.
Oh yeah,
That guy turned. I think isn't he a priest now?
maybe.
Yeah. I think he went totally on the religious
Him and
side.
Dion.
Yeah.
Him and Deion Sanders. We had, but that was so funny back in the day in Pop Warner. My mom used to, be a great team mom and all that stuff. And remember how everybody had the towels, the towels that hang on the belt.
Yep.
I put you can't touch this on the back and hung it on the back.
I would have to admit right here on radio that I followed my brother's footsteps and we both wore hammer pants.
There you go.
Like I followed him though. He was cool, so I was like, I'll wear hammer pants.
We had the Z Cavaritis back
Yeah, I
in the day.
remember those.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's one. John might like this one.
Oh man, I'm gonna let you take this one. I already know what it is.
Go ahead.
Metallica.
Yeah, this was right before the wrestling. This was right before the wrestling match. Going out there, you're going to be competing. That kind of stuff. That was a good one. And here we go.
Is that Tony Braxton?
It is. He knows his stuff.
The last couple times we've done this, I've done pretty well. He's killing me.
Yeah, where did she go, man? She was an amazing.
She disappeared like Arsenio. They said, right?
Right.
All right, here we go.
Backstreet Boys?
Opposite. I always get them confused.
NSYNC.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I always get
There was
those
really
two
only
confused.
two. There was a bunch of them, but those were the two main.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're past that era.
Yeah. The boy band
Yeah.
stuff?
I'm glad we're past that.
Yeah. All right. So
Not
there's
that
your
music has gotten any better, but
Yeah,
I don't listen to music radio anymore. I listen to like talk radio, but I don't know. Music is just different than what is. It might be my age speaking.
Well, the problem is they play these songs 100,000 times, and then you're just like, okay, I've heard that one. My limit is there.
And the artistry, to me, the artistry is gone.
Yeah.
Like you get guys like Phil Collins. I mean, he wrote. Not only could he play all those instruments, he wrote his own stuff. It was so unique.
Yeah, Tom
and
Petty.
even artists like Prince. I mean, those guys were insanely good at what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Petty. He just recently passed away. And
right,
just great music.
Yeah, and actual musicians where they knew how to play. They played multiple, like you said, they're versed in a lot of different things. They're writing music, they're listening to music. They're nowadays it just seems like
everybody's a DJ Khaled and stuff. Every song on the radio.
Yeah, it's like they throw a little tune, they throw a little hit a button and it goes, and then they hit the button and it throws up the fire, and, which that's cool too. I mean, I like it. Yeah. That's all good to me. But yeah, it's all good. But all right, so we're gonna help you win. Let's go back to our expert panel here today. So Mario Larrea, back to you. So MI Mutual Mortgage, local lender here, support the local economy. That's something I like to hit on, right off the top.
I mean, It's real important. I mean, because I think a few weeks ago somebody had mentioned this too. It's like you'll see me out. I'm around. I'm here, like in the community. So you know who you're dealing with. You can meet me face to face. Come into my office. So it's real important, I think, to support the local community. Number one, but the other thing too is you get a lot back from it because there's a lot more trust involved than just typing some information in over the internet or calling somebody in another state. I mean, it's just a lot more. There's a lot more reliability in
accountability.
Accountability was actually what I was looking for in dealing with somebody that is going to be around and cares about the community too.
Yeah, that's right. Because in the mortgage industry, it's like you said before, whatever rate you quote right away is, oh, well, that's too high compared to what? What are you comparing it to? And then a lot of times you'll have it to where, it comes in, especially if you're dealing with those computer-based companies, the people over the phone and could be working out of their garage. You never know. And what they're going to do, they're going to come out with that first rate and they're going to try to hit you with, a bait and switch later. They're going to say, oh, well, this changed and you did that and your credit score jumped or whatever it might be or fell.
Yeah, I mean, and there's all kinds of like government regulations and disclosures and stuff, but there's still ways to get around it. I mean, with a mortgage, so many things can change. It's impossible. It's really hard to get that bait and switch thing out of there, which it's unfortunate. I mean, there's a lot of people in the mortgage industry that are, still today with all these regulations and the licensing and everything. There's still some real shady people out there, and it's unfortunate. It makes the rest of us look really bad, and it's real hard when you're being straightforward and honest with somebody, and then you're going. I mean, it's hard to be competitive with a lie. So
sure. That's right.
I'll get it sometimes
that's a true statement right there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hang on to that business.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can I get it a lot. Hey, I saw interest rate like 1.5 lower than this. Yeah, but you're looking at somebody who has an 800 credit score, who has, they're putting 50% down. It's a huge loan amount. I mean, a perfect case scenario, yeah, I could do that too, but not everybody's a perfect case scenario. So,
yeah.
You got to have somebody who's going to be real honest with you, straightforward, and, explain why it is like it is. If somebody's just telling you, hey, I can do this, you might want to dig a little bit deeper, see why, do some research, see who you're talking to, too. I mean, like if you look me up, every review I have online, 5 stars. So, if I wasn't doing that, that wouldn't happen. So,
right.
And then a lot of these other people, if you look them up, you probably wouldn't even find them. So it's just one of those things.
Right. Yeah, it's accountability. I think, it was interesting. I was listening to one of the other morning shows driving today, and they talked about the dine and dash. Remember the old, people would dine and dash?
Yeah.
They said restaurants now are literally just taking the security cameras of whoever dined and dashed, putting it on Facebook, boom, and then they said like 9 times out of 10, almost every time they find them. So the old,
wow.
So think about the accountability now that you have.
Yeah.
So the accountability, and that's what you're losing when you're dealing with one of these internet-based companies that you can't see, you can't talk to them. You're losing that accountability. And, we're here in Tampa Bay, so we're talking with Mario Larrea in my Mutual Mortgage here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, with Platinum MVP Realty, the owner of Platinum MVP Realty. And the other thing that I see that just you hear it all the time is we'll pay your closing costs. There's no closing costs. We're going to pay them all. That one just
that's you hear that a lot, and you're paying for it one way or another. So you're either going to get it. I mean, you're going to pay a much higher rate, so you're paying it. I mean, one way or another, you're going to pay it. We're all in this to make money, so
right.
It's one of those things where it's just not completely honest up front. So
right.
You got to kind of watch that. But another thing too is if you get referred by somebody local who's in the business. Like I get it a lot. I'll have realtor, contacts that I work with all the time. They'll refer people to me and, they maybe refer them to one other lender or another lender. There's a reason why they're referring you. They're in the business. They work with them every day, and then I'll have some of those people go on, oh, I got quoted this online. Well, do you know anybody who's used them? Probably not,
right.
So you want to go with somebody who's consistent. Like I had somebody who I was doing their mortgage, and they were talking about getting their own inspection company, and they asked me what I thought about it, and I was like, well, if your realtor's recommending somebody, I would go with them. I mean,
Right.
they're working with these people day in and day out. You know, they're going to have a lot more pull with them. But the other thing too is they've seen work that they've done before.
Right.
So they're not going to make their job harder, your life harder, the transaction worse. You know, so if you do get a local referral, you know, you're best to kind of listen up to it. I mean, they're looking out for your best interest for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, when you think about the refinance market, you think about eliminating private mortgage insurance, purchasing, and especially renters. You know, my heart goes out to those renters. You know, a lot of them were forced out by the loan modification, the short sale that happened as a tail end of the Great Recession, where the bankers and politicians kind of colluded and they said, hey, you know, how can we do another power grab? But anyways, where we're at right now, a lot of people are renting and they're paying a lot of extra money that they shouldn't be paying in rent.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I get a lot of people, too, that think that you have to be out away from a foreclosure or short sale 7 years, and it's not the case. I mean, you know, you can go with FHA loans, short sale within 3 years, same with foreclosures. So, you know, and I can actually do people that are actively in like a Chapter 13 bankruptcy where they're making payments. As long as they've been in it 12 months, we can show 12 actual payments. You can get a mortgage. So there's no sense in paying that high, you know, rate of rent that you're basically getting absolutely nothing for. You know, check to see if you can, because if you can qualify, because there's a lot of people that that time frame has run out from the you know, when everybody was foreclosing and short selling and stuff like that. So there should be a lot more people right now that are qualified, but a lot of them don't even realize that they can.
Yeah. Reach out, 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. And you can call or text 813-670-REQB. And we would love to help you, introduce you to Mario Larrea, best in the business here in Tampa Bay. And let's give a shout out to Healthy Gourmet, Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet. She is a delivery service, a meal delivery service, and it's excellent food, organic veggies, natural proteins delivered fresh 3 times a week. Healthy Gourmet meal plan starting at only $90 a week. Optimal fuel, optimal performance from Felicia Lacaille here in Tampa Bay. Longtime friend of the program. I love it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they roll around and I get a whole new shipment of food delivered fresh. And what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? So eat healthy with Healthy Gourmet, and a longtime friend of the program. And when we come back, we got tail wagging tutors help struggling readers, young readers, improve their reading skills. So stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors, Mario Larrea and Joe Harrison with Harrison Martial Arts. Stay with us.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP Realty, helping you win in any marketplace as Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay, all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples. Our show can be heard, and we are 5 o'clock drive time right here on AM 1380 The Biz, Monday through Friday. Weekends, we have a 7 a.m. show on Sunday mornings on 102.5 The Bone, and we also are daily on WeBeam TV, compliments of John Gaston and WeBeam TV. And let's give a shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. Now, this is the first new hotel built on St. Pete Beach in decades. You've got an on-site restaurant, the Castile Restaurant. You got the rooftop 360 lounge upstairs. Beautiful hotel, great place to have a nice little staycation, and let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get 20% off of your room stay over at Kimpton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. And if you're a boater like me, you can take your boat up. I love getting out there on the weekends with Freedom Boat Club. Pull the boat up and hang out by the pool, the hot tub. You got the bar downstairs, and enjoy some nice cocktails out there by the bar. And we got a couple of hot listings from Platinum. I got to let you know about these. Back on the market, this one's 2297 Monaco Lane, number 25 in Clearwater. It's on top of the world. A great property. I've got, actually, this is a 2-bedroom unit. I've got a 3-bedroom unit also at 2297 Monaco Lane, 55 plus community, number 25 and number 33, on top of the world. $145,000. Great buying opportunity, and it's going to sell quickly here in Tampa Bay. And also 5421 Kelly Road in Plant City. $1.99 million. Great buying opportunity. If you're in the market to move out East County, 12.89 acres, 4-car attached garage, drive-through garage, and too many upgrades to list here. Over 8,100 square feet at 5421 Kelly Road in Tampa Bay here, Plant City. Great buying opportunity. And in studio today, we got Mario Larrea, MI Mutual Mortgage, Joe Harrison, Harrison Martial Arts, and we're talking about ways that you can live a better life and be more successful on the show here, and be protective, protecting your family, Joe. Back to that, how can people be proactive and protect their family?
Well, what I'm going to start that answer off with is by asking a question first, and I'll start with Mario here to my left. And I'm going to ask this question because literally a few minutes before I walked into the studio today, my instructor from Michigan, the guy that I've been training under for the past 25 years, he called me just out of the blue, and he says, Joe, in your opinion, what is self-defense? And that was strange for me to have him call me and ask me what self-defense was. And then I realized something quickly is that it can change. The definition of it can change depending on how we live as a society. So, Mario, in your opinion, if I were to ask you, or I am going to ask you, what in your mind is self-defense?
The ability to protect yourself.
So that's a very open-ended answer. I mean, that could mean anything, right? What about yourself, Brandon? I mean, what would you say is self-defense?
Yeah, I think it's very similar to that. It's the ability to defend yourself from potential threats, whatever type of threat that is. It's going to vary from, time to time. I love, training with you over the last year or so. You got flexible weapons, you got, cutting weapons, knives, guns, lots of ways. Of course, the, batons, the sticks.
Yep.
So self-defense, the ability to defend yourself and protect yourself and your family.
Absolutely. So this is my definition of it. Self-defense is the intelligent preparation to unpredictable conflict that has potential to bring you harm, you or your family or loved ones. So I'll say that one more time. And this is in my definition or my opinion. Self-defense is intelligent preparation to unpredictable conflict that has potential to bring you harm or your family or loved ones harm.
I like that.
So now once you understand that you probably should be training on some kind of a regular basis. Why? Because we cannot predict when the next shooter will happen. Unfortunately, it's becoming more frequent. So that's why I said earlier, your ability to defend yourself should also become more frequent. And the other thing I'm going to say is that there is a difference between self-defense training physically and self-defense intelligence. Let me give you an example. Like knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, and wisdom is knowing that it doesn't go in a fruit salad.
Right. I like that.
Okay, so there's a lot of things. There's a lot of schools out there, a lot of martial arts academies and schools and dojos that teach self-defense physically. But as far as how they're teaching it intelligently, now that's a whole different story. And I've heard people, left, right, upside down, inside out, tell me that that nobody's teaching that but me. That not only am I teaching the physical side, I'm teaching the intelligent application of it, not only verbally and emotionally, but also physically. And that actually bothers me. You would think as a business owner that would excite me because I'm like, hey, I'm the only kid on the block doing the job. Well, I kind of don't feel that way because I want more dojos doing it because that means more people can protect themselves.
Yeah.
So I think more as on a mass or on a much bigger scale. That more like, let me give you another example. When I get on a plane, I get a very temporary feeling of sadness because I know that out of all those people, the only one that has a chance is me for the most part. Because I can't pick out who's going to be able to take care of themselves.
Right.
But if I had a pretty good idea that they could all take care of themselves, I would feel safer. So that's my other thing. And you asked me earlier, what can we do? Yeah. Well, we can't do anything about, we can't stop the next person. But as a society, if we operate in a way that doesn't make us look and feel like victims, well, then that's going to at least give guys like him, this Vegas shooter, it's going to at least give them a second thought. And if we can cause that disruption in their thought process to give them a second thought on whether or not they should do it, and disrupt their plan, that to me is a pretty big deal. So if we operate as a society and we don't carry ourselves as a victim physically, mentally, and emotionally, that's a big one.
Yeah, I think, a few weeks back, too, you saw there was a guy that was robbing some type of a store, a convenience store, a coffee store, whatever it was.
I saw that.
And then the guy that attacked or that stood up and grabbed the guy in some kind of a headlock.
Yeah, I think it was a Starbucks.
They tried to sue
something.
him. The guy's parents' family tried to sue him. Whatever happened to that story, do you know?
You know what? I didn't follow up on that because I just thought it was so silly. And I'm like, for me, if the situation called for my skills and ability to defend myself and inadvertently everybody else in that room, then a lawsuit that's the least of my worries.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of the situation that I have to take care of because we're talking about my life.
Right.
So if you want to try to compare a lawsuit to your life.
Right. Yeah.
That's
the guy came in and it's clear as day on camera. I think he even had a gun or something.
Right. Yeah. I believe it was a gun. I have to go back and look, but either way, the guy that attacked him, the Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
His ability to identify that there was a threat and that he had to do something, that's the kind of intelligence I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not he had the physical skills to be able to carry that out is another thing, but he did have, that willpower and the ability to identify the threat and take care of it. And that's what I mean by self-defense intelligence.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So, when you look at that and so the takeaway from today's show is to be proactive, reach out. We want you to go into consumerqb.com, check out the website, consumerqb.com. Just submit the email form right there. There's a contact form, and we'll put you in touch with Mario Larrea on the mortgage side and Joe Harrison on self-defense as well. He's got a great office or dojo. Do you call it dojo?
Studio dojo.
Studio in Clearwater. So thanks so much. I want to thank our expert contributors for coming in today. I want to thank all the folks putting the show together and all of our listeners and viewers out there. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some leftover food, some leftover clothing you may have, and hand it to that person that you see in need. Maybe donate it down to the Metropolitan Ministries, the church, wherever you can find to do that. And be a force for good out there. Go out there and do something kind for someone else, and be a force for good. Live a clean life, and continue to tune into our show here, the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out on Facebook, also at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Twitter, Facebook.com/Brandon Rhymes PA. We're on Instagram at Brandon Rhymes 1. We would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot of great content on the YouTube channel as well. So we'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.